All right. In 1964, you're the recipient of a $3 million grant from the Quebec government for the foundation, the organization of the Clinical Research Institute of Montreal. How that came? I mean, it was a surprise to you, or?
No. It's just the result of begging, and stressing the importance of medical research for the progress of medicine in Quebec. The only two things. And there were a few researchers, but the people were isolated, and there was, to me, a necessity to gather together research people in various fields together, and most of them were former pupils of mine who had done their training, got their master or PhD degree with me from McGill University. We had with Dr. John J.S.L. Brown there at McGill, so that the money we obtained, we mostly emphasized the training of younger people. And I was very strong on this, at least 5 years of training in the best medical centers. And for the young people who ask for help, then I would emphasize that should go to the very best people, the various research centers in the world, which were at that time in the United States. And we had no objection for Europe, but for organizing, or a point of view of good organized research that was in the United States.
Yeah, what was your concept of basic research when you, in the creation of CRIM, of that institute?
Oh, basic research was understood at that time as purely laboratory research. Clinical research was a mixture of getting the patients and the blood and urine and tissue from patients to the laboratory in specific diseases. So we would study if one was either in cancer, then we were having patients with cancer and then getting some of their blood or tissues analyzed in the laboratory. Before, that wasn't done. That was separate. And there was no research done with patients. That was new. That was clinical research. And that was the biggest progress of medicine in the recent century.
So it was based on your numerous observations acquired during your medical round-the-world tour you had been doing late 40s and in the 50s.
In France, there were money given to support laboratory research. But research involving patients, which costs as much money, if not more, than purely laboratory research, because it involved studies of blood, urine, and tissues in the laboratory, but from given specific patients. The two have to be put together, one with the other. And that is clinical research.
But you had that great opportunity to go all around the world. I mean,
to see what was going on. I mean, I had done that in the United States with the Rockefeller Foundation. So I had a good rapport with many medical schools.
Yeah.
And then the Quebec government, especially influenced by Marcel Pichet, saw the need for Quebec to, and then the government proposed me to take a year off to, and that was my own idea, to see what was going on in Europe. And that fellowship to travel throughout Europe, France, England, Germany, Denmark, Sweden, and study their organization of medical research, study their research centers in hospital, and that gave me a pretty good universal view of medical research throughout the world.
Okay, that was in Europe, but probably the United States had the hedge.
Oh yes, no question. The United States was a major factor, but England had also its own characteristics, and I had spent some time in England and see how the groups were doing, supported by the Medical Research Council. That was one thing. Clinical research was not as developed as the United States. It became so later. France, the same thing. Germany, the same way. Sweden. So there was different ways in different countries, but with the same goal. And what was the best out of it is that what we try to achieve in Canada, medical research involving clinical research, the patients and the laboratory, put them as one interlocking unit.